Thank you so much for attending my presentation about Gallade's competitive revival, and first let's talk about its traits before everything changed. It is a very powerful offensive type combination being fighting psychic. While most psychics, like Indeedee, are more wary of steel and dark types, Gallade slashes right through them. It also has good, albeit not great, stats for the job. This thing hits like a truck with 125 attack. However, as it has poor HP and middling speed, actually getting attacks off can be difficult. Gallade's abilities are unfortunately nothing special. Justified is the best, raising attack when hit by a dark move. This lets you come in on a knockoff and theoretically deal way more damage. However, it's a somewhat niche interaction and doesn't pop up that often. Finally, Gallade's move pool is solid. You have great stat but also get coverage. This includes knockoff, leaf blade, shadow sneak, and the elemental punches. Arguably more impactful though is support. You have wide guard, safeguard, trick, wish, will-o-wisp, trick room, and taunt to play with, leaving many possibilities wide open. Gallade sets before Gen 9 are pretty simple. You oftentimes see them lean into a slower sword stance role, not really intending to outright sweep, but to hurt defensive cores long term. With some investment, you aren't really getting O-code and stay healthy via Drain Punch recovery. It's not that consistent, but keeps you alive for longer and it's very potent. You could also just run a faster Life Orb attacker, even dropping sword stance for substitute. Choice items are of course viable, either dealing immense damage with a band or sacrificing power for speed with Scarf. There's even support, investing hard into special defense and burning shit while passing wishes. These ideas synergize very well together as Gallade can capitalize hard on the wrong counterplay. If you launch a neutral attack into bulky SD, things can get out of control very quickly, but if you switch out and they set up a sub, something's got to take on one of its powerful stab options. Playing around it is very difficult. However, Gallade's poor traits do hold it back. As more fast, strong pokes are introduced, Gallade struggles to find roles in high tiers. The power creep is too much. While it did hold on to some OU and UU relevance throughout Gens 4 and 5, things went downhill and bottomed out in PU during Gen 8. Gallade seemed destined for another poor placement in Paldea, but Game Freak had other ideas. It was one of the recipients of the new ability Sharpness, giving all slicing moves a 1.5 times boost. This is a perfect buff as it drastically increases the strength of its best new drawback stab options. Sacred Sword and Psycho Cut each jump over 100 base power, with the former being especially strong, but Gallade also gets its coverage buffed big time. The aforementioned Leaf Blade gets better, and so does Night Slash. This one single change is a bigger deal than it might seem. Gallade's results took a major jump, so what happened? In singles, Gallade went from PU to NUBL. That's a huge leap, especially in the power creep generation. The sweeping sets in particular are very potent and can easily be abused. A very obvious idea is using it on Sticky Web's offense, lowering the speed of opponents on switch-in. This makes Gallade pretty difficult to outspeed and forces the opponent to keep hazards off the field at all costs. With 1 SD, it's almost impossible to take on, period. It also runs another very interesting item, Scope Lens. A very large chunk of its best sharpness boosted moves happen to have high crit chance, and with this item equipped, they do so half the time. With the sheer power it's already dishing out, being able to crit past defense boost is absurd, but VGC is even better. Side spam teams have been very deadly, setting Trick Room and throwing off powerful expanding forces. However, they've historically had some bad weaknesses, in particular bulky steel and dark types. But lucky for you, Gallade patches these problems perfectly. Sharpness boosted Sacred Sword owns these guys, but it's not only good in that sense. Psychic Terrain Psycho Cut is fucked up, breaking through almost everything that isn't immune. Wide Guard stops annoying spread moves, doing especially well against Calyrex forms, Kyogre, Ursaluna Blood Moon, and Goldango. Finally, since Gallade's natural speed is low, it can work great in Trick Room. Hell, it can even set it up itself. The Blade Pokemon has been one of the archetype's strongest pieces since introduction and doesn't look to be slowing down anytime soon. In conclusion, pre-buff Gallade was pretty good, but had a slow decline. However, with Gen 9's blessing of sharpness, it's reinvented itself and become strong in both new and old ways. Thank you so much for watching.